Hello, Pastor Steve Waldron. So thankful you're here today. Hope you're having a great day in Jesus. We're looking at Peter Waldo. I'm Waldron. Waldo. Used to get called that a lot. In church history, Apostolic History outlined by Marvin Arnold. Let's jump in, get started. I've said a lot about this book in times past. So, Waldo of Lyons, France was the first, or one of the first that we can find that turned to Rome for doctrine approval. He created a hybrid Protestant religion. This is Blunt 617. So you had a ton of heterodox so-called bodies. Many of them were actually New Testament apostolics, New Testament Christians scattered throughout the world. Peter Waldo, besides the East, kind of said, well, we're going to believe quite a bit of the doctrines of Rome, including the Trinity, but be very biblically minded, and even in some cases seek Roman approval. And so he is certainly a proto-Protestant, also known as the Vaudois, the people of the valley. So Protestantism mixed with Catholicism, AD 1161. Reverend Gerari and 30 other apostolics were murdered by Henry II at Oxford. This is according to Martyr's Mirror 294, page 294. AD 1163, August 2nd, at Cologne, Germany, Catholic Egbert, a monk of Schonach, and a typical Catholic auto de fa, burned Pastor Arnold Marsilius and Theodoric, apostolic preachers, to death, along with 8 others. This is Jacob von Bracht, Martyr's Mirror 296. So some type of quasi-New Testament preachers killed, one in England, 2 in modern-day Germany. One was a little girl. Egbert mocked and laughed as they died in the flames. So thousands of apostolics were put to death in 1182 AD. Philip, the Count of Flanders, and William, the Archbishop of Reims, later of Douay Rheims fame, the Bible, caused many to bear, as they would say, we'll see, i.e. to be burned. In 1185, Pope Lucius entered a decree in Verona, Italy, where they make good shotguns, in the presence of Emperor Frederick, that all those he thought to be heretics were to be mercilessly killed. This is again found in von Brock's wonderful Martyr's Mirror, page 297. That was written about 1637. 7,000 people, referred to as pious witnesses of Jesus, were martyred in Bourges. As many apostolics and Jews were put to death by so few Catholics, they were called true Christians and had nicknames such as Humilitani, Paterini, Patriciani, Arnoldist, etc., and were categorized as Sabellians, CGH Blunt 412. Also, Brother Dominguez, Sabellian History, the writing of Wormio, writing Sabellian History in 1698. Great book, everybody needs it. Review here on the channel, as a matter of fact. So from AD 1200 to 1300, we've seen apostolics from the upper room till now, along with many other people, including those called Catholic, but many other groups as well. A century of Catholic mass murder, the Inquisition was set in motion. It was an insanity devised by insane minds at the Vatican. So in AD 1200, the Vatican owned about 1/5 of France. AD 1202 to 1204, the Fourth Crusade, Rome's Crusaders took Constantinople, and Western Catholics massacred Byzantine Catholics. And several references there, including Baton, Roland Baton, Lath and Wax. AD 1205, England was merely a papal fief. And this all kind of really began in 1066, but you can trace it beginning even before that with the Venerable Bede and all of this. AD 1208 and before him. To 1215, a Spaniard, Pedro of Aragon, was sent by the Vatican with 500 100,000 crusaders to exterminate the Christian Albigenses, which a certain percentage of those would have been somewhat apostolic. Inquisitor de Montfort was a killer for the Vatican, but he was killed about 1215, according to Laux. It's AD 1215, 354, 358. Thousands of Oneness Apostolics and other citizens were martyred. Toulouse was devastated. Over 500 towns in Languedoc was destroyed, according to Blunt. Now, in Languedoc seemed to be somewhat of a stronghold of heterodox opinions, kind of like Venice was for many, many centuries. 800 nobles, honorable men and women, many possessing the Holy Ghost and Acts 2:38 belief, were hanged on trees and mutilated by Catholics. Blunt, page 18, Laux 357. And notice this. It's not every Catholic. It's usually the hierarchy. Who is it? Paul Kingor writes incredible books that most mass murders through history have been done by governments, but we submit to governments, we believe. Romans 13. AD 1215, Jewish ghettos were invented by the Vatican. King Max de Mont 224, but that's just common history. Pope Innocent III in 1215 drove the Jews into ghettos, deprived them of occupations, stole their banks, and made them wear badges. Hitler, also a Catholic, maybe nominally, but Thule Society, a lot of other things, did the same thing. AD 1217, you have the Fifth Crusade coming up. In AD 1226, Catholic knights forced their belief on more Slavics. Germanization was forced upon them, and it does seem like the Slavic area seemed to be a hotbed for heterodox opinion, and further east into Armenia, ancient Khazaria, and Mesopotamia, on and on. So we're going to stop there and open up, God willing, our next morning look at church history with the Great Inquisition of 1233. Of course, with each period, we're just using this kind of broad-based textbook. We could go much deeper in each period with so many different resources, but this is just letting us know, it's important to know that there was always a church. It wasn't always the institutional church. It wasn't usually the institutional church, if ever. And they were all over the world. So that's very important. God bless you. See you later. Bye-bye.